We'll start in Spain, shall we? Because it's sunny there. This is how the bookies have things set. Real Madrid are the favourites, defending champions Barcelona at 11-8. No other team is going to win it, so we don't need to talk about them. Let's welcome in, shall we? Ian, Darke and Stewart Robson are with us. Ian has his suitcase packed. He's ready to go to Bilbao for the opening game between them and Real Madrid. Ian, who have you got winning it all?
Well, I'm going to tip Real Madrid this time. Of course, Barcelona have got to play all their games away from the Camp Nou this time around. They're going to play at the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona. I just think Real Madrid will have the bit between their teeth a little bit as well, having not won the title and not won the Champions League last season. And, of course, they've got Jude Bellingham will have his debut for you at Athletic Club at the weekend. So that's a really tasty one. And, of course, Barcelona start their programme away at Getafe, where the stadium's going to be empty, which is another story. But I've got Barcelona second, Atletico third, Sevilla, who made a great comeback last season, looked like they might be relegated at one stage and won the Europa League. Lewandowski to be top scorer again, and maybe Vinicius to be player of the year. Those are my guesses. They're no more than that.
When you see Ian's picture, for a moment it looks like it's not sunglasses, but you know, like criminals that have their eyes blacked out so you can't tell who they are. That's what I took away from that. Did you say something about football during that? But why? Why, Ian, Real Madrid going to be better this season, considering they've lost Benzema? They brought in Bellingham, but they're still a long way off, aren't they? Well, yeah, they're not the perfect model yet, but I think they'll still have enough. They've got the midfield players, of course, who are coming through, the likes of Valverde and Camavinga, and Bellingham's going to play, I think, just off the front too, who it looks like will be Vinicius and Rodrigo, unless there's a sensational late arrival by Mbappe, in which case you can rip up all those plans and they'd be even stronger. But Barcelona I think, just tailed off a little bit, having established that big lead last season. I think Lewandowski was worried about their, how much they were actually creating from January on. So I just think with them not being in their home stadium as well, Real Madrid will have the edge this time. But, it could be different, couldn't it? Joselu's an interesting signing. Got a bag of goals for Espanyol last season. He's 33, so he could be brought in tactically here and there when they want a real fulcrum up top. Ali, we've asked you to give us your Real Madrid starting 11. Would you like to share that?
Absolutely, Dan. And I was told to not include Kylian Mbappe because he is not a Real Madrid player.
All right, okay.
So I'm going with Thibaut Courtois, of course, Dani Carvajal on the right-hand side of the back line. Beyond that, what we're going to see from Real Madrid, you could play Rudiger. I'm still going to stick with Eder Militao, David Alaba, Fran Garcia on the left-hand side. And then, since you don't have a striker, then you're going to lean on what you do best and where you have depth. And where you have depth is in the midfield. And so, therefore, that's why I'm including 4 players in the midfield with that diamond formation that they've been experimenting with in the preseason. Toni Kroos, I'm going to play him because I think he gives me a better outlet, a natural outlet coming out of the back. Camavinga and Valverde with the engine, one on the left-hand side, the other on the right-hand side. And Bellingham being the guy at the top of that diamond who's going to join in the attack. We saw him being very successful in the preseason, making those runs in behind, making those runs, splitting the defenders. Vini Jr. and Rodrigo will have more responsibility in terms of productivity in the final third. That right there is a really good team. And I can tell you, I can interchange Camavinga for Modric, Kroos. I can put Tchouaméni. I have a lot of depth there.
Oh, is that you?
Hey. That is me.
Wow, Ali. Well, I mean, that's a long, long time ago, yeah?
Well, not that long, Dan.
Looks like that guy
look at the curls, baby.
What was that?
Curls for the girls right there. What?
52.
What is it?
I don't know, Steve. 52.
Shades of grey.
Oh, right.
Wow. Hello.
That's the Irish guy.
Excuse me. You found 2 more. I didn't think that would be on your film list, Stevie.
I don't.
You said that I look like the guy from 50 Shades of Grey. That's what
Hey, the Irish guy.
I'll take it.
So you've gone for Madrid, Ali. Now, Stevie, you've gone for Madrid as well. But where are the goals going to come from? Is that not a concern?
Bellingham, Vinicius and Rodrigo.
That's enough?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be on the front for what, 80% of the games? So you're telling me that somebody like Valverde isn't going to chip in as well? So goals isn't the worry at all.
And you've got Bellingham as player of the year. You think he's going to come in and make that sort of impact?
Only because Mbappe's not there yet, but I think he absolutely will. I mean, this playing with Vinicius and Rodrigo with a diamond, I mean, this is set up for Bellingham.
Right.
Whenever I saw them without Benzema last year, they weren't the same side. Doesn't matter whether Rodrigo's playing it through the middle along with Vinicius Jr. They never quite had the same build-up. They never quite had the same style of play. So they're going to have to adapt to that quickly. And we've also seen them have problems defensively with that diamond in midfield. How do they defend the wide areas? As for Barcelona, I can't see them being worse than they were last year. I think they need to play on the front foot a bit more. And what Ian was talking about, the tail end of last season, they stopped controlling the ball. They started to play on the counter-attack, which doesn't suit Lewandowski. But just having seen them in pre-season, some of their squad players look as though they're returning to form. They're returning to some sort of confidence. Ansu Fati, Torres is coming back to some sort of form. So if players aren't performing well, they've got players that can come into the...
We saw their alley, obviously, Ansu Fati getting a couple of goals. A man who made such an impact as a youngster, hasn't lived up to that reputation. A big season for him.
It's make or break for Ansu Fati in terms of his time at Barcelona. Now, you could argue that one of the players that benefits from the departure of Dembele is actually Ansu Fati, who will now get more of an opportunity to play. And I think that's a position that is readily available. I don't think that Rafinha is quite the answer and hasn't quite had the impact that one would have expected or wanted from him. And so, therefore, I think there's a potential for somebody to come in and compete and say, you know what? I can be that guy on the outside, whether that's Ansu Fati, whether that's Abde, whoever that may be. Now, understand that Xavi chose to play with that sort of 4-3-3, but it was more of a hybrid position for Gavi, who then tucked into the midfield. And so, therefore, it only gives you one option as a winger. And who is that going to be? Is it Rafinha? Is it Ansu Fati? Is it Ferran Torres? Does Ferran Torres play down the middle? My concerns with Barcelona are not whether they're going to get worse or not, and that's something that Stewie was talking about, that they're not going to be any worse than they were last season. My concern is that this is a team that depended a lot on how well they defended last year and won a bunch of games 1-0. So they're going to have to do that and more this year, because I just don't think that they have more goals in them than what they had last season.
Where's the weakness?
I just think Real Madrid will be stronger with Bellingham. I don't agree or disagree with Stewart's point that Barcelona won't be any worse this season. In fact, I think Gundogan's going to give them a little bit more goal power. He scored a lot of important goals for Manchester City. He's a very good pickup as a free transfer. And I don't really see why that defence... I mean, Ali's talked about the defence. Why is it going to let in more goals? They only let in 20 all season. I think Real Madrid let in almost double that amount. So if they're as tight again, they're going to be on the premises. So, look, we've all been asked for a prediction. I'll go for Real Madrid, but it wouldn't surprise me if Barcelona are right in there with them fighting all the way. Let's hope we have a thriller that goes to the last day.
How much do you like predictions, Ian?
Well, they're there to make fools of us all, aren't they, in the end?
Ah, yes.
Can I just throw you another name for Barcelona on the outside?
Throw me any name.
Lamine Yamal, who was impressive coming off the bench against Spurs and has been impressive every time he's been on the field. Is he going to get...
How old is he? He's
16.
16 years
so
old.
Vote of confidence, I don't know whether he's going to get it, because it may be a little too soon. But if he continues to get minutes and he continues to play as well as he has, and that position, again, is up for grabs, maybe Lamine Yamal becomes a player that is a factor. Not a deciding factor over the course of the long season, but maybe in a moment or two he could make a difference for Barcelona.
Robbo, if Kylian Mbappe joins, does that change your mind?
Yes, I think it does, because obviously he's the world's best player in that front area. And he gives them pace to run in behind. It's a totally different... It allows Vinicius Jr. to play out on the left, where I think he's at his best. Rodrigo would then play out on the right-hand side. It means one of the midfield players would have to drop out, but it's a much better side with Kylian. Any team would be a much better team with Kylian Mbappe in it. So that would tip me to say that Real Madrid would win the title.
So what's the itinerary? You're going to do the Bilbao game on Saturday and then fly to Madrid for the Getafe-Barcelona game, Ian?
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, we go to Bilbao tomorrow night and spend the night in Bilbao and then do the game. And then we go down on the Sunday to the Madrid area to do the Getafe-Barcelona game. It's a pity that game is going on behind closed doors, isn't it, for some ancient offences? I mean, I think that's LaLiga cutting its own throat a bit there.
I think so. Is Macca okay doing two games in a row?
Oh, yeah, well, I think he'll struggle through, don't you?
Well, you'll certainly hear about it. Just a reminder then, all those games live on ESPN Plus, as they are throughout the season. We've got the 2 matches on Friday, and then Saturday sees Athletic Club against Real Madrid. That's live on ESPN Plus and ABC. Then on Sunday, Getafe against Barcelona. Monday sees Athletic start their campaign at home against Granada. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.